Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em for a rest. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Now, earlier this week, a bunch of us were chatting, and I said, I can't wait for next week because it's the Outlaws versus the Posse. And then all of a sudden, as this week has unfolded, it struck me, we don't have to wait for next week. It's this week. It's not the World of Outlaw sanctioned race, but it's everybody's going to be in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's not much racing elsewhere. I mean, there's some in Ohio and elsewhere.
Yeah, and so in next week are World of Outlaw races. So it's a test session. It's a trip to the bank session because there's a lot of money on the line up there. It's a Weikert bullhead that you want, one of those coveted trophies from the Weikert Memorial. I am telling you, oh my gosh, those of us that love the drama and excitement of the rivalry, this is like 2 weekends back to back of just joyous living.
It really is. I mean, like you said, it starts this weekend, and then because they're all going to be there. But then you have the Silver Cup on Tuesday, the Don Martin race, and then the Summer National. So this is the month of money is happening.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be better than ice cream. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. She's Erin Evernham. I'm Steve Post. This is Wing Nation, the podcast presented by Dryden, by DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires, and we are really, really fired up. And we have a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, but the reality of it is that we're also going to talk on this show with an area that has been just decimated with racing, and that's the West Coast. Jim Allen, he operates the NARC series, the King of the West series, and I'm telling you what, if you don't want to be depressed, don't read their news releases. And it's not a slap on how they're writing the news releases. They're in that state of California, and I'm telling you, it's a mess. The country is a mess. But California is a bigger mess, and most of the tracks being fairgrounds is even a bigger mess. And so we're going to get a maybe not necessarily a rosy, glowing view of racing on the West Coast, but the West Coast is so stinking important to our racing.
Yeah.
And the driver we're talking about all year long is Kyle Larson, who's from the West Coast. So the West Coast is so important, and so we just want to get Jim to lay of the land and show us what it looks like. I mean, gosh.
I know. I'm happy we're having on, give them a little bit of promotion, talk about the big race they have happening this weekend.
The Kaeding Classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
But I am also, nervous to hear the truth and how difficult it has been for him.
Well, and here's the thing. A couple years ago, I went to the Kaeding Classic, okay? And the racing, this is cowboy up Ocean Speedway.
Yep.
Elbows up, bouncing into each other, bouncing
California
around the racetrack and everything else. And eat and drink? Oh, my God.
How did I know we were going to bring up
I know,
food
but
and
yet
beverage?
with social distancing and no fans, it's a Kaeding Classic race.
And how did the Kaedings have a race without a party?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Jim about that.
Maybe we shouldn't. We don't want anyone to hear that they're going to have any partying. They're going to social distance party.
That is the question of the year right there. How do you have a Kaeding race without a party? Like, you can have Kaeding parties without races.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's called Tuesday and
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday, Oh, my gosh. We got all kinds of questions. So we're going to have Jim Allen on. We're going to talk to him in just a little bit. California has had some really great 360 racing. Marysville Speedway, for instance, has great 360 racing. Check this out. Tanner Carrick and Shane Golobic. Give it a listen. It's on Flow Racing. It's our Dryden Diesel all death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
This is the race, 1 to go. Tanner Carrick holds the lead. Oh, Golobic bangs off the cushion. What a run by Golobic. He's going to take the lead into 3 and 4. Tanner fights him back up the racetrack. It's a drag race off turn number 4. There's contact. They slide across the finish line as they hooked nose to tail. Holy Toledo, what a finish.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are Team Dryden.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, by DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires. Joining us now is the chief cook and bottle washer, the man that does it all with the NARC and the King of the West series. Jim Allen is on the line. Hello, Jim. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you guys doing today?
Jim, we are doing well. I really hate to turn that question right back around on you, but and the good news is we have a race this weekend, it looks like. But dude, how are you surviving? What are the nightmares you're living through?
Well, I just had a conversation with somebody about staying positive, but yeah, when it gets to the racing side of things, it's pretty tough. I mean, here we are in the middle of July. And we're going to have our, get ready for this, our second race of the season, which unfortunately could also be our season finale based on everything going on out here in California. Our governor just shut the state down again yesterday, and, spectator sports have obviously taken a beating. And it's been pretty depressing for whatever. I mean, it's been depressing for every racer in California. I mean, I think if we had a bootleg race and we were saying we're going to race at some place like out in the Nevada desert, like Burning Man, I think we'd have 300 cars show up just because everybody's desperate to go. So that's, I don't know, that's just where we're at. I know my wife always tells me, pick your battles and, only fight the ones that you can have a chance of winning. And unfortunately, I don't think we can win this one.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
It's crazy, and certainly what you guys deal with in California is an extreme. Jim, we talk on the show about how everyone around the country, things change by the minute. But for you and in your position, how do you keep track of what the governor's doing or what your restrictions are or what racetracks, like how difficult, and how do you get your information even? Do you talk to your local officials? It just seems like the whole thing has got to be so challenging.
Our governor still gets online and does a hour press conference every day, and if you didn't like him before, you really don't like him now. Whatever, just and whatever. I mean, whatever. Let's not go down the politics road here, right?
Yeah.
So, then we have. I mean, who I feel sorriest for, whatever. The biggest heartbreak for is the promoters because. Like I'll just throw one out there. Tony Nassetti, he's a promoter at Stockton Dirt Track. And, he wants to have a race badly. I mean, he's trying to get something going. I mean, his lease payments at the state fairgrounds continue to come every month, and he can't put on an event. So he goes and runs the gauntlet, and it includes anybody from the Alcohol Beverage Board to the health department to the district attorney. And I think, if I remember right, he told me there's 6 people that have to give him a yes, but only, one no trumps the whole thing. So, one no when you're not having an event, and obviously he hasn't had any events. So, and then if you go down to, Tulare, and, a hot spot in California, they basically said, you're done. It's literally different by which county line you go over. And it's impossible to keep track. Even what the governor says is one thing, but then if they're not implementing on a local level, basically back to how we started, it all kind of turns negative, unfortunately.
Yeah.
One of the other challenges, most of the tracks are on fairgrounds too, and that just adds, because we've seen it. What we saw with Knoxville, it's on a fairgrounds, and the fair board has made the decision there. And I know in talking to Steve O'Neill at Port Royal, now their fair board is very aggressive, and it's a different state and everything. But that has to be a challenge too. Just probably what you talked about with Tony and them. Just so many layers that they have to get checked off on approval.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we only have two privately owned tracks that we race on: Kern County Raceway Park down in Bakersfield and Santa Maria Raceway in Santa Maria. And Santa Maria, oh my God, even though they're privately owned, they had a hard time getting their county to approve a practice day with 3 or 4 race cars. That's how tight they are. I heard, I'm not 100% confirmed, but a lot of these tracks have been threatened with losing their alcohol beverage license if they decide to go renegade and run a racing event. And so the penalties are pretty steep. And all these fairground promoters, we all know about the racing events, but they also have Wednesday night bingo and a Thursday quilting thing and a gun and doll show. They can't do any of those. And once again, the payments, the state still expects to get their payments for the fairgrounds lead. Wow. And it's a bad thing. It would not surprise me if a couple promoters don't make it through to the other side of this thing. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the harsh truth. Jim, how are your teams doing? There's the theory in sprint car racing, if you're not racing, you're not losing money. But you said they're raring to go racing. But how are they? How much communication do you have with them, and what is their state?
I feel well connected to our group. And they're kind of hanging on my every word. Of hopefully, we got a race coming up, or there's some hope of a race coming up. And we've got. This season was just shaping up to be fantastic. We had Tim Kaeding coming back to race full time, and our sergeant Jody Robinson, Hollow Phil, joining all the regulars that we had on tour. And we just made an announcement 3 weeks ago that we were not going to crown a NARC champion or a rookie of the year, which kind of deflated a few balloons there, but that. I think they're all realistic too at this point. They know that, there's nothing we can do. There's literally nothing. And, I've done a pretty good job of making sure they understand the math of the whole equation as far as, you got a drawback of being one of the highest paying shows in California. And let's do some math. How many people do you think are in the pit gate? Let's multiply that by $45 a head. And now let's look at the grandstands. How many you got over there? Oh, none. All right. The promoters plus got to pay insurance and everything else that goes on there. Me personally, as a business owner of a couple businesses, actually, I would rather, they're going to lose money anyway. The worst thing we could have a promoter do is run a race and lose more money. They're better off staying dark. Also, makes it easier to negotiate races in the future when, you go, hey, I want to get another race here. And, last year we didn't make any money. That's my worst conversation to have, And so there we go. Overall, they're all upbeat. It's going to be a hug fest in Ocean Speedway this week, and everybody's going to be happy to go racing. And unfortunately, at the drivers' meeting, I'm probably going to announce that, unless something strange happens, I hit the lottery or I decide to put my mask on and go rob liquor stores on the weekend, we're probably not going to have any more races.
Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. So 2 years ago, I went to the Kaeding Classic. Yes. And you're going to run it, but there's no fans. And Erin asked a very, very good question during our first segment. Can you have a Kaeding Classic without a party with the fans? Unfortunately, we're going to find out you probably have to. Is that correct?
Yes. whatever. In our races, we're going to have a good time. I mean, we put the club in Northern Auto Racing Club, right? We're going to have a good time. We are going to have a barbecue in the pit areas for all the racing teams that are there. You know, our show's on Saturday, but they're going to run a regular Friday night 360 show. Cool. And so there's going to be, a little camaraderie and drinking going on, you know, overnight. And we're trying to make the best of our situation and, then keep old Mr. Howard Kaeding coming in at a nice, youthful 88 years old. He's looking forward to this like a kid at Christmas.
Jim, this is always one of your marquee events, but this year with so little racing going on, are you expecting even more cars, more of a turnout?
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if, I'm thinking we're probably going to have somewhere around 35 cars. Some of the pit crews have started to swell for whatever, off the record, obvious sort of reasons, amazing, car pulls in the pits and, 15 seconds later, there's no mud on the car because you got 15 people scraping it off, right? But yeah, it's a marquee event. I mean, I got to give credit to, Bud Kaeding. He this puts his heart and soul into this. Normally, he would be padding the existing purse. This year, he, said, this is going to be tough. I mean, we want to have a race. We don't want to do something like some of the promoters are having to do, saying, we got a 50% purse or something like that. So we have a full purse. And I mean, I just literally got off the phone with Brent and Bud here about a half hour ago. I think we're up to about $35,000, $5,000 to win, $800 to start. And it's still coming in. I mean, the support that we're getting is just flat out outstanding. And a lot of them are the racing teams that are competing. They're sponsoring and throwing money in just for the sport they love, and which always reminds me why I do such a great group to hang out with.
It is. You are so fortunate with that group out there. They really are. Is there a pay-per-view option the rest of the world can see?
Yep, you can catch it on Flow Racing and Speed Shift TV like normal, and I think qualifying is going to start at 6 o'clock, and if everything works right, checkered flag, and I will be in my home or back in the truck headed home, hopefully around 9:30, so Pacific time, and best thing about Ocean Speedway, as you know, Steve, is going to be a nice 70 degrees. You might then want to put pants on before the night's over because of the marine layer coming in. And considering I'm sitting up near Reading where it's 103 degrees, that's a great, that's almost like going on vacation.
Now you're teasing. Now you're just showing off where you're going to be this weekend. That is a wonderful spot. It really, truly is. Yes, Jim, I cannot wait to talk to you about good news and good things, but we wanted to get you on to talk about the good news and good things this weekend, but also to the real look at what you guys are dealing with out there. And I sincerely appreciate you taking some time and breaking it down for us. And we just hope you guys have a whale of a reunion, race, gathering, get-together, mud-scraping party, and whatever it is this weekend at Ocean Speedway. We wish you the best on that for sure.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. Enjoy being on your show.
There we go. Jim Allen joining us. He's right. I was thinking about this. They had so much momentum coming into the year.
Yeah.
And they've got some great things out there going on. Obviously, a lot of it is around Kaeding. But, yeah, with Tim coming back and some other drivers advancing from the 360s in. Peter Murphy took over a track.
Yep.
You want to talk about a promoter, and you imagine poor Peter Murphy take over a track.
He's put a ton of time and money into that place.
I know. And the guy at the Stockton Nacella, he's phenomenal. That guy is great. I met him and chatted with him one time. And here we are. Nothing. Bumpkus. I mean, and so Jim does a great job, and I knew he wouldn't depress us with a depressing topic.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so glad we had a chance to talk to him. I have so much respect for what he does, and obviously love the Kaeding family and everything. And the Howard Kaeding Classic if you're sitting there in California and you know someone, join a team so you can go this week. Join a team, do something like that.
Mud.
Scrape some mud, exactly. And the rest of us, make sure we support it through Flow Racing. And we got to keep this California thing is so critical to sprint car racing, and it's been such a climb. And they've got all the pieces in place with Jim and the NARC and the King of the West and promoters like we just talked about, and they're climbing and they're scratching and they're clawing, and then just literally a kick right in the crotch is what they got with this thing. I mean, it's just exactly what they got with this. And
yeah, the whole country did, but California got extra special.
I mean, no, we all took a shot. We all took a little shot down there. I mean, that's fine, but they got the full force. Yeah, they were not wearing protection or something. I don't know, but anyhow, so it is just. Man, I'll tell you, I see a press release. I'm like, oh no, the Calistoga got canceled.
That one hurts.
God, the Louis Vermeil Classic's not even going to happen. Now you're getting serious. The Louis Vermeil Classic. This is timeless.
I mean, not only is it a great track, a great event, a great but it's wine country.
Wine country.
I mean,
exactly.
One of the most beautiful settings in sprint car racing.
So here's the deal. We're going to get this sorted out. We're going to figure out what's going on in California. And they're going to come back next year, and we all just need to get on a plane and go out there to wine country and race country and just
twist my arm to do that.
Yeah, let
wine
go.
and sprint cars.
Yeah, and Kaedings. Yeah. Hell, I might even scrape some mud if it comes down to that. And I don't do anything in work. I don't work at all. I'm in radio. So, so there you have it. Like I said, it's a terrible scene in California, and I respect and appreciate Jim giving us as upbeat a report as he could.
Yeah.
I mean,
a little humor thrown in there.
Little humor thrown in there, that's for sure. The auto industry is the backbone of America's economy, and Ford chooses to invest more in America because of its rich heritage here. The Blue Oval employs more U.S. hourly workers and assembles more vehicles in America than any other automotive manufacturer by a large margin.
So whether it's a Ford dealer in Kentucky or a technician in Indiana or an engineer in Michigan, we're proud to have them as part of the team. Ford, built for America.
Stay with us. More Wing Nation. Oh, we're going to talk about a Hall of Famer coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are
Team Dryden. Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey!
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, by DRF Racing Oils, and by Hercules Tires. So glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post setting up for the big weekend. Hrp Wings. They are the original recessed rivet wings manufactured, the manufacturer of those things. They use wind tunnel and track performance testing to outpace the industry in design, innovation, and functionality, not only for sprint cars, but lightning sprints, micro sprints, and junior sprints, and they're shipped across the world and can be economically ground shipped right to the door of your race shop.
And check out their website. It's easy to shop the entire line of Hefner Racing products. HRPRacing.com from desktop or right on your phone. First-time online orders, use promo code MRN at checkout for 10% off your first order.
Woohoo, there we go. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so now West Coast, we talk about, and you and I are in the same category. When we look at the West Coast, California, when you go north, it's Skagit and Cottage Grove.
Yeah, Cottage
Grove, yeah. Cottage Grove, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and all of those tracks up there, I get Skagit, I mean, and then when you go south, it's Arizona and the old Manzanita. And I'm telling you, the fact I still, when I go to Phoenix, I drive down by there about once a year, and I just wish the person responsible for bulldozing that place would, because I'd give him a shot down there, okay? I'm telling you, when you took away Manzanita. And one of the things about Manzanita was Wendy McDonald, the announcer.
Yep.
The first time I ever heard the name J.J. Yaley was in a USAC SCRA qualifying lap. JJ had that car reared up off from turn number 4, and you know Manzanita.
Yeah.
That thing, when that place was right, that was a badass racetrack. And he had that car reared up, and I swear he was on just the right rear tire. The left rear would touch down. The left rear would touch down on a qualifying. I hate single car qualifying, and I'm sitting there going, and Wendy McDonald, the announcer, and here he comes, J.J. Yaley, and it was just spectacular. One of the other names that he would always, the way he said it was the Tempe Tornado, Leland McSpadden, whose birthday is today.
Yep.
He's a 1999 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. There's no denying this kid was going to go racing. Before he got into sprint cars, he raced dragsters, motorcycles, and speedboats. So give me something fast. He started helping Billy and Ron Schumann. He bought a super modified from Ron, and, well, it was game on. Got his first win in 1972. 1975 Arizona Racing Association champion, and then it just went through the roof. 1977, 25 wins at Manzanita. I mean, second to Wolfgang that year in the Knoxville Nationals.
Wow.
Listen to this win. You add one of these to most careers, and it would be, you had one of these.
Yeah.
Chili Bowl, Holman 100, Belleville Midget Nationals, Western World, twice the Skagit Dirt Cup, the Copper World Classic. He won in World of Outlaws, USAC, CRA, NCRA, USA, and anytime they teed him up. And man, this guy, oh, man, is he a racer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that list of wins is, like you said, just one of them puts you in a Hall of Fame.
Exactly. You take one of those. You take one off from that list and add it to your favorite driver, and that driver would be like, man, oh, wow.
Yep.
And this cat's won them all. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. And the World of Outlaws, first World of Outlaw win was just at Ascot. Just at Ascot. You know, I mean, it's like, so those are the stories. That's why that little piece of heaven in turn number 2 at Knoxville is so important. Other birthdays, Sam Hanks earlier this week, Elmer George, Ricky Hood, Charlie Wiggins, John Sawyer has a birthday coming up. But it is a little slice of heaven there in turn number 3 at Knoxville. And Erin, I'm telling you, they have the best gift shop on the planet.
Oh, they really do.
And it's online, too.
Yeah. I mean, whoever, and I'm involved in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, but whoever is doing the buying these days or getting the products, I mean, there's some really good
They
stuff.
have a shirt. I wear it all the time. It's a Sprint Car Hall, but it looks like the Hot Wheels logo.
Yep.
Oh, it's like a teal or a reddish rose-colored shirt.
Yep.
But it's got the Hot Wheels thing on it. There is not a time that I wear that shirt that someone says, man, that's a cool-looking shirt. That is cool. It's the old Hot Wheels theme. It is really, really neat. So you can find out more stuff at www.sprintcarstuff.com. That's www.sprintcarstuff.com. Okay, our friends, let's look at the upcoming schedule. It's been a little slow getting up and running, but our friends at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, they get back at it. Friday night, US 36 Raceway in Osborne, Missouri with the Warrior region. Okay, we talked about this, and it was going to be a wide open season, but then Sam Haferteep Jr. took a left-hand turn, and he's right back in the mix of it. 3 wins. But Roger Crockett, Harley White, fresh off from that win at Riverside, and Jordan Mallett, they're all within 100 points.
Yeah.
And Blake Hahn is just outside there with a battle, too. So they are on Friday night at US 36 Raceway. And RacingBoys.com is going to have the pay-per-view, so get the monthly subscription there. And they just do really, really good stuff. Only the best go 3 abreast. That's what Brian Howard says. And then he goes, this is what you saved your lunch money for.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that line.
take my lunch money. I want more of this.
You are giving away your lunch money?
I'm giving away my lunch money to see the ASCS National Tour.
I can know how much it means to you.
It does. It's great. Great racing. So can't wait for Friday night to see that. Regional racing Saturday night, Mid-South region in Greenville, Mississippi. US, we got racing around here.
I know, just down the road.
Oh, I am so fired up about this. Our friends with USCS on Friday night, they're at Carolina Speedway in Gastonia, and on Saturday night It is at East Lincoln Speedway. Now, you want to talk about tiny little bouldering.
Yeah.
Ray used to own that joint.
Yeah, formerly owned by the Evernhams.
By the Evernhams, exactly. So Pete Walton's bringing his band of gypsies
That'll
into town.
be a battle.
You
can barely fit a few sprint cars side by side.
Yep. We had to warn people in Charlotte. Pete Walton's coming to town with his band of gypsies. We better batten down the hatches around here. You think we had all kinds of problems before? We bring that group of people in. I love them. I am so excited about. I love the USCS Tour. This week it's been so. I ended up, with the normal Monday, Tuesday, then Bristol yesterday, and everything else.
Yeah.
Freaking Terry Gray's hanging out with the McLeans. You should come down. Yeah, you're right. I should come down. But I got to work.
That darn work.
It's Carolina week with USCS. It's going to be fun. We mentioned this earlier, but let's give you a few more details. Central Pennsylvania, Friday night, Williams Grove, the Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. Saturday night, not one, but two chances to race for $10,000. Lincoln Speedway has an outlaw tune-up. That's going to be epic. Okay, to see who wins that one. And then Saturday and Sunday, you have twin nights of racing at Port Royal. The Weicker Memorial, which I wish we could be there.
Yeah.
We are going to have a pre-race show. Krager's put together this spectacular pre-race show. So we're going to have a pre-race show on Saturday afternoon. We'll follow our social media channels for all the details. But $10,000 to win each night. And there is going to be a boatload of sprint cars in town for this one. This thing looks like, this weekend in Central Pennsylvania looks like it is sprint car heaven. And then Saturday night, the Howard Kaeding Classic, King of the West NARC Series at Ocean Speedway. You got to tune into Flow just to see if Howard gets that old super modified out and starts doing donuts again. Crazy old coot. He was he's
good stuff.
He is nuts. I mean, I'm there and I'm like, we're having a good time. They just handed out the Sunnyvale Farms bacon and I'm like, they didn't give me any of it. I'm sitting there and the next thing you know, the crowd is just going wild. I'm like, what's going on? And in the middle of the infield, Howard's in that old super modified just cutting donuts. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Those people are crazy. So Ocean Speedway, the Howard Kaeding Classic for the King of the West Series. Pennsylvania, you can get all the Wing Nation gear. It's on the All-Star Circuit of Champions trailer this weekend at Williams Grove and at Port Royal. So make sure you do that. Social media, Twitter and Facebook, our YouTube page. We're having a ball on there on our social media stuff, and we would invite you to join us as well. Coming up this Saturday on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, it is Harley White. And we are on at 8 and 11 a.m., so we're going to talk to the historic first-time National Tour winner for ASCS. Hey, we appreciate Jim Allen for joining us here today.
This has been the Wing Nation Podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.